Happy New Year. We thank God for another opportunity to be here this morning again. God has been extremely gracious, seeing all of us through all the challenges of 2023, and we are still here alive to see everything. To those of us that are friends or visitors, visiting for the first time, or you've been coming, we are grateful to have you. Thank you for coming to visit us. This is the Church of Christ, and we strive to speak where the Bible speaks and be silent where the Bible is silent. So if you have any question, you can ask any one of us. Yesterday I was talking about homiletics, the principle of sharing the Word of God. And today I'll be breaking one of the key principles in my sermon. The text is Proverbs 3, 5-6. And I can bet it with you that this would be probably the longest topic you've ever seen as a topic for sermon. The topic for today's sermon is trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight. That is the topic for today's sermon. It's a lot, but there's a song we'll learn that will make us rehearse it. As we go into the year, we're talking about it in the Bible class. Have a Bible passage that easily comes to mind. So this could just be it. To me, this is one of the Bible passages that I'd always been all my life. So we'll learn the song. The song goes this way. If you know it, sing along. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do you know the song? Don't worry, you'll learn it. So I'll sing the first stanza. You repeat after me. Trust in the Lord with all your heart.
Trust in the Lord with all your heart.
Good. Once again. Trust in the Lord with all your heart.
Trust in the Lord with all your heart.
And lean not. So we'll start from the beginning up to that place. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not. We've gotten halfway. So we are repeating what we said now, and we are changing the wordings. That's all. So let them trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not your own understanding. That's the next one. Let's go. 1 to go. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not your own understanding. Good. Next one. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct. We'll stop it there. So from the beginning up to that place. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him. The last part. Shall direct, and he shall direct your path. That's all. So we'll take from the beginning and we'll sing it twice. 1, 2, sing. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct, your path. That's Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5-6. This Bible passage is a very strong and very powerful Bible passage. There are 3 instructions there. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him. When we do these 3, then we will direct our paths. So we'll take the first one. One word that is standing on the first line is trust in the Lord with all your heart. What is trust? What is trust? There are 2 words that are very similar, trust and faith. Both of them are similar, but there's a slight difference. They are identical twins. From the same gene, from the same chromosome, or XY, but they have different DNA. What unites them is the word believe. They are both elements of belief. But with faith is hope. whereas trust is confidence. When we are talking about faith, it's usually hope. I'll explain it better. With faith, faith is what you give someone. Faith is given. Trust is earned. Before you can trust someone, the person must have done some things for you to trust the person. Whereas faith, it's I hope this person is going to do it. I explain it better. You can put your faith in someone you don't trust, but you can't trust someone in whom you don't have faith. There might be situations where things are beyond your hands. I hope Ayo is going to, we have to put our faith in Ayo. He's the only person we have. Let's just pray he lives up to the expectation. We are putting our faith in him. But when it comes to trust, Ayo will be there. He has done it before, and he will be there. And that's what this Bible passage is requesting of us, that we should trust in the Lord. Children, do children trust or have faith? What do you think? Trust or faith? What do they have? Trust. I think it's faith. For example, we have one sister that comes for our Wednesday class. One young sister, very, very excited to be in service. If you are on Wednesdays, you know this sister. Always happy, always move. At times she gets so excited because of the lessons and she's running around. There are times when she even tries to come to the front to drag the pulpit with the teacher. At times, without asking her, she will just feel like giving her own comments, and she will be so excited about this sister. We like her. She's a handful at times, but she's a very, very excited person. If you know what I'm talking about, you know I'm talking about Zaya. Zaya is Mark's 3-year-old daughter. When you're on Wednesday classes, that girl is so excited, so excitable. The first time I saw the girl, I opened my hands, maybe because I have similar beards with her father, and she came running into my hands. If you go downstairs, you open your hands to Zaya, she's going to run into your hands. You've not done anything to her. She just has the belief. In their little mind, everybody is good. But as they keep growing, at a point we start giving them instructions. Don't trust strangers. Don't do this. Don't do this. Then they start to understand that everybody is not nice. You can't just run into everybody's ends. Then they start becoming guided. At a point, they'll face some things and they'll realize that, before I can put my trust in someone, I must have tested that person. And that's how we grow till we all get to this stage and we come to that conclusion that you can only give your trust to a trusted person. That's how we end up here, that, we all started from that ease of everybody is good till we get to people are bad. Don't trust anybody. Now, this Bible portion is telling us that trust that is difficult to give everybody, we should give it to God. So back to the question, what is trust? I have this picture that depicts an idea of what trust is. This is a trapeze. This lady has absolute trust in this guy, not faith. Because if she falls, that's the end of her life. I can't watch this this entertainment, because I'll just be afraid that what if he misses? What if the guy has heart attack while holding the girl? What if there's a lightning strike and something happens? I don't want to. A life is too valuable. I can't watch this. But when you watch their training session, both of them are attached with so much strings, and they've done this over 1,000 times. In that lady's mind, there's no modicum of doubt that the guy is not going to hold her. That is trust. Trust is dependence, absolute assurance, unwavering confidence. There is no tinge of doubt. That's what that Bible passage is asking us from God. We should trust God. We should trust God, not just feel that, I think He will do it. No. We should trust God absolutely. And that's what we need as Christians. But why should we trust God? This trust that I've been talking about, that's so valuable, that's so precious to us, that's so difficult to give away. Why should we trust God? 2 reasons. The first one, He did it before. He did it before. In the scriptures, we read of different stories. The children of Israel, they were an occupied territory. They were not even a country. And Egypt was a world power then. It was no match. It was like thinking of a very strong country having issue with maybe a part of just Victoria Park alone. They are just a group of people that are not even a country. And the Pharaoh refused to let them go. But because God was involved, when they got to the verge of the Red Sea, none of them would have thought of it that God would make a way in the Red Sea for them. They might have thought of other things. Maybe a strike lightning will kill the Egyptians. Maybe something will happen. But God did this in a way that was beyond their comprehension. When the children of Israel were fighting again, they were fighting the Amalekites. Because they were fighting in the hills, God defied science. He defied geography. And the sun stood over the night for his children to walk around. The axe head did float. Jephthah was a born bastard. That it was of no consequence in his father's household. But God still used that same Jephthah to be a judge in Israel. When they told Samuel to go and anoint the king in Jesse's household, to know how inconsequential David was, his father forgot him. He brought out 7 of his sons, and they checked all the old 7. Samuel said, God cannot be wrong. At this, all your children, oh, we have one, he's in the bush. That's how irrelevant Joseph was. David was. But that same David became the lineage through which Jesus came into this world. He has done it before. He's faithful. All the people that have served him, they've always had testimonies of his goodness. The second reason, he's doing it again. We tend to not look at what he has done. During the crossover service, the last service for the year, I was talking about it that right now we have a couple of prayer requests starting the year. I want to do this. I want God to do this for me. I want him to do a couple of things for me. But by the middle of the year, that same list might even be longer. I might have started this year with 4 requests. I want this, I want this, I want this, and I want this. But by April, I might have 7 more. But one thing you will observe is those prayer points have changed. They are just being substituted. And usually with one that God answers, we replace it with 2 or 3 or more. I said it then. God, give me a job. I need a job. If only you can give me a job. The moment I get the job, that is one prayer request off my list, a very major prayer request. I'll replace it with give me wisdom on how to do the job. Give me promotion on the job. There are people, office politics I need to survive. I replaced 1 with 3. Give me a child. I have a child now. Give this child good health. So many things. And we keep forgetting what he has done. But let's take a moment. This song, for now, is my song of the year. So I'll keep singing it every time I have the opportunity. The words of that song. When upon life billows, you are tempest-tossed. When you're on the waves and you're tossed thereabout. When you are discouraged, thinking all is lost. When you're feeling low, count your blessings. Don't just count them. Name them one by one. Then you actually know that God has done a lot. God has done an awful lot in our lives. I was listening to someone and he was talking about gratitude. It was a simple experiment and it really helped me. That when you pray in the morning, think of 10 things that God has done for you. When you start, you might start thinking that 10 things, it might be difficult, but look down. You realize when you get to 10, you keep going to 15, to 20, you'll have to stop that I need to get to work. When you wake up in the morning, just think of 10 things. And don't start from the big, seemingly big ones. Like I said, we didn't pray to be born into the family in which we were born. We didn't pray for this. This was what God gave us graciously. We didn't pray to be here. Maybe we prayed for it. But our life could have taken a different turn at different times in our lives. Some people had life-threatening sickness. And when they had that sickness, that was all they could think of. The preacher back home, the preacher in which we worked together, there was a time he had cancer. When he had cancer then, he was really sick. So one day, his wife came to meet him that this car, we've not started the car for like 3 months and the battery is running flat. Look at the wife. For all I care now, that car can catch fire. I don't care. At that moment, all that mattered to him was being alive. And to those that have gone through sicknesses, at that moment, that job that is seemingly very important now, that mortgage we are struggling not to default on, at those moments, they were inconsequential. It was only God, if you can make me survive this, I will worship you for the rest of my life. A couple of us made those promises. And God did his part. Some people, maybe it was their status that was threatened. Man, I have little months. If my status is revoked, I'll be forced to leave this country, and everything I've worked for will go down the hills. And it was a prayer point, something we fasted for, something we followed God for. But eventually, God did his part. It could be sickness, it could be your family member that was going through a particular stage in life, and you prayed for so many years. But Satan's greatest mission is to distract us from looking at the blessings, but to look at our wants and the things we don't have. Light and darkness are polar. If you face light, you won't see darkness. If you face darkness, you won't see light. If you face the light, your shadows will be behind you. So, brethren, let's turn and see the light. The things we don't have, there will be lots of them. But the things we have, let's thank God for them. Let's thank God for them. For us being alive, some of us have had a couple of near-death experiences. Some of the things we are complaining about. I shared it again then. There was a day I was going to the meeting place. We had a fasting program then. And incidentally, I was singing, thanking God as I was going, just singing on the road. I saw a driver. We made eye contact. He saw me and I saw him. So we had that understanding that I'm not going to hit this guy because the road was narrow. And I kept on walking. A couple of minutes later, seconds later, he drove past and his side mirror hit my shoulder. That's how close it was to me. 2 inches away, I would have been the one. If I had died at that moment, I wouldn't be here facing all the challenges I have. So for us being alive facing these challenges, it's a testimony that we are not dead. God is extremely faithful to us. He is. But when we look at his faithfulness, we forget because of some things. Well, before we go to acknowledge God, we can't look at song and not sing it. It won't be fair to the song. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your blessings, say what God hath done. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your many blessings, say what God hath done. When upon life billows you are tempest tossed, when you are discouraged thinking all is lost, count your many blessings, name them one by one, and it will surprise you what the Lord hath done. Oh, count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your blessings, say what God hath done. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your many blessings, say what God hath done. To the younger ones, you might feel like life has not done you much. But even when you're in school and you see your colleagues that have issues with their parents at home, and they don't have half of what you have, the price of the love we have from our parents, it's immeasurable. It's immeasurable. When you are with them, you won't like those people. They are just after your life. Why is this woman after me? Why is my father after my life? Why can't I have peace? But when you leave that house, you are going to wish there's someone troubling your life. You are going to so wish and miss all those quarrels we used to have. So whatever stage in life, you have reasons to thank God. But why do we doubt having all this reminiscent in our hearts? It is because of the next point, leaning on our own understanding. Because when we have issues, we'll start thinking for God. And the instances where man has thought for God, it has not ended well. God told Abraham, I'm going to give you a son. Sarah thought of it that this man is old. Maybe God is thinking, son is son anyway. Since I can't give birth to a son, let me give him my slave. And we are still on that issue till today. The world is still not at peace because of helping God. The temple was falling. Uzzah felt, let me help God. Let me help the ark. He supported it and it was killed immediately. When we think of the major thing that causes problem with our trust is the fear and thinking for God. What the Bible is telling us is tune off the brain. I wish there is a kill switch button for the thoughts. For example, we trust our wives. We trust our fathers. There's someone you trust most. So maybe it's your wife, maybe it's your father, maybe it's your mother. Imagine one day you are coming home and your wife tells you, close your eyes, open your mouth. Because you trust your wife, you are not going to worry, am I right? Yes, you open your mouth. She comes in and says, open your mouth. This woman will not kill me. You open your mouth, not knowing what she's feeding you, and you eat it comfortably. But let's flip the scenario. Let's turn it up one notch. Imagine you come home one day, and your wife is there waiting for you on the table with a straight expression. And she calls you whatever she calls you, honey, sweetheart, baby, lover of my life, king of my crown, whatever you call your husband. What else? What do you call your wives and your husbands? Give me ideas. Darling, honey, sweetheart, whatever she calls you. And she's there. But incidentally, this time around, it was a gun on the table. And she told you that, my dear, you trust me, right? So, of course I trust you. But that time, that trust will belong. I trust you. Yes, I should trust you. You're my wife now. And say, okay, I want you to do something for me. Don't ask questions. Don't ask questions. I just bought this gun. There is no bullet in it. Take it to your head and pull the trigger. Yeah. So what will be the response at that moment? At that moment, when you won't even hold the gun, what will start going through your mind is, how sure am I that this lady knows how to check a gun? Did I offend this lady in this morning? What if I put it and I die? But we trusted her, we can trust her with food. And that is the problem when we're dealing with God. When the things we are facing is bigger, when there's a bigger risk, we start thinking. When it's a small thing, we can easily move on, that it's a small thing. I trust God. When I have enough, I can trust God with $100. But when all I have is $100, can I trust God with 50 out of it? That's when I start thinking, like that husband, that am I sure? What if God is not willing to bless me now? What if my blessings will come in the future? What if, assuming, I'm thinking, eventually, so many thoughts start flooding our heart. Brethren, don't second guess God. Don't second guess. Don't think of how he's going to do it. It's not your business. Don't think of how. Don't start imagining. Don't start assuming. At that moment, Psalm 46 verse 10, be still and know that I am God. When we face crisis, the first reaction of man is to run around. But God is telling us, be still and know that I am God. Let me do this for you. Let me fight this battle for you. Whatever you go through this year, just trust me. Pull the handbrakes. Don't run to the throne. Don't run to the phone. Don't let your first reaction be 911. First reaction, let me call this. No, go to God. Back home, a preacher said it this way, prayer over paracetamol. We don't have paracetamol, you have Tylenol. The prayer over Tylenol. When your child is sick, when your wife is sick, don't let the first thing you think of is, medication. I know there are emergencies. Of course, we do that with wisdom. But when you do that, how about prayers? While the doctor is administering whatever he is doing, who is praying for you? Who is praying for you at those moments? Do we even remember to pray to God? If you have an accident, bam, at that moment, do we start thinking, the insurance company, how am I going to pay this and all that? Don't let's get caught up in the frenzy of life. That's what Satan wants us to do. He wants us to be constantly running, constantly pursuing. But let's calm down. Don't lean on your own understanding. God is more than able to do exceedingly, abundantly, more than you can ask or imagine. He has done it before, and he will do it again. In all your ways, acknowledge him. In all your ways, acknowledge him. The first one is trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. Lean not is the problem of trusting God. In all your ways, acknowledge him is how we trust God. The way to trust God is to acknowledge him in all our ways. I had a conversation with two brethren in this congregation, and I got similar answers. They have similar situations. One of them is into HVAC. We know that's our ventilation of our house. The other one is into diesel engine. These are highly profitable professions. These are professions where you do it and you make good money because they are high in demand in Canada. But eventually I spoke with them that, why are you not, both of them are changing a career. They are leaving that profitable venture for something else, for a career in service, in helping. So I just asked them, why are you leaving something that is highly profitable for this other one? They both have the same answer. Knowing what I've gone through in life, knowing what has happened to me in life, I think it's not all about money. I'm more concerned about how I can serve God than how I can make more money. Brethren, when we get that job, do we think of how it's going to affect our spiritual lives? That's how to acknowledge God. Acknowledging God is when I make a decision, I weigh everything with God's standard. If I want to take a career, how will it impact my spirituality? If you get a job in Muskoka, for example, will we check if there is Church of Christ there? Do we check how it's going to affect my relationship with God? That's how to acknowledge God. When I want to buy a car, do I think of, okay, this car I'm buying, I have brethren living along my household. I think I can use that to help them as well. When I want to do anything, do I think of God in it? Or is it just about how will I benefit from it? That is how to acknowledge God. How to acknowledge him in whatever we do, in thoughts, in deeds, in action, everything should involve and should glorify God. The work we do, the life we live, the food we cook. As long as there's opportunity to bless someone, the way we dress, the way we talk. Because if I talk anyhow in my establishment, I am an ambassador of Christ. And I talk anyhow, I'm giving Christ a bad name. I acknowledge him in the way I talk, in the way I wear, in the way I live my life. If God is involved in everything, then we can say we are trusting God. As we start 2024, let's start making conscientious action. Take a survey of different segments of my life. Where is God featured in my choice of career? Where is God featured in the car he has given me? Where is God featured in the mortgage I have? Where is God featured in everything? Find an opportunity to place God in everything. And whatever part of your life that has no God in it, there's danger. There is danger. X-ray your life. We are starting a new year. It's a new slate. Let's do it right. Let's do it right. In Jeremiah 17, verse 7 to 8, I was doing my devotions this morning, and I came across this Bible passage. I had finished my sermon. I saw it was too beautiful, and I said I must add it. Blessed is the man who trusts in the Lord, whose trust is in the Lord. He is like a tree planted by the water, that sends its roots by the stream, and does not fail when heat comes, for its leaves remain green, and is not anxious in the year of drought, for it does not cease to bear fruit. When we trust in the Lord, when we have unwavering confidence in the Lord, whatever be the prevalent situation, We'll be like this tree that has no reason to fear. Situations will occur when we'll be anxious. Situations will occur when there will be angst in our hearts. When it happens, hit the reset button. Remember what we did in the morning. Praise God. Pray. Instead of complain, pray. Instead of worry, pray. Anytime the thought comes to your heart and you want to worry, pray. If it comes 20 times, pray 20 times. And the more you pray about it, the more you find peace. At times it might be difficult to find your peace. But just keep praying. If today is not as good, tomorrow will be better because of the prayers. Brethren, let's trust God. He is faithful. How to acknowledge God in the year 2024? I will pray more. I will do better. I will give better. I will do more. These are good resolutions. But I tell you, this will not get us anywhere. Because if I say I will pray more, it is not measured. There's something called SMART goals professionally. Specific, measurable, actualizable, realistic, and timely. When we set goals, let's make it specific. Instead of that, why not try this? I will pray more. I will pray every day by 9 p.m. And it becomes a principle. If I miss my prayer by 9 p.m., I know that I failed something I committed to. I will attend midweek at least once a month. That's if I don't have the opportunity. I will increase my giving by 5%. These are specific goals that we can do in 2024. I will read a chapter a day. We will have devotion every Saturday, even if it's every Sunday night. I will invite Terry, Rollins, my neighbor, just names. I will invite people to my house. These are plans, specific ones. Not that I will invite people into my house. Who are the people? But specific. And that way you'll be able to assess if you've been faithful to your commitment, if you've acknowledged God or not. At times we have the desire, we have the willingness. We want to do better. But situations, and because we didn't anchor it when it came to mind, we didn't put a specifics on it. We just realized that, okay, I will invite someone. First, January is gone, February is gone, March is gone. Oh, I will still invite someone. Because I didn't set a timeline, and I didn't set the person. That's how I'll suddenly realize this September, oh, I failed this year. I'll start again next year. And that's how we keep rolling it over. But when we are specific about it, we'll be able to achieve what we have. I will end it with this picture story. A young man was on a cliff, and he called to God, God, help me. God responded, jump. What? He saw the place where he was breaking down. I know myself too well. I can't jump from here. Lean not on your own understanding. It's not possible. How will I jump? How will I do this? The brain will start running around. It will take a miracle for me to fly, for the rock to lengthen. Won't it then? Then why? Questions keep on coming. God told him again, jump. Okay. He looked at it. Now he has no option. And he jumped. When he jumped, he started going down. I told you. Eventually, there was something waiting for him there. He didn't see it because of the mist. That's our life. When God says jump, the question should be how high. When he says jump, don't hesitate. He knows. Romans 8:28. For all things work together for those who love God and those who are called according to his purpose. Brethren, as we are starting 2024, let's trust him. Without a tinge of doubt. If you've made a promise that I'm going to give 20% of my giving to God this year, don't start looking back that, oh, I might have more expenses. Don't go back. Don't face the storm. Face Jesus that's telling you to walk on the water. If you've made a commitment that I'm going to attend classes the more, don't face the storm. Face Jesus. Set forth on it. Whatever be the plans you've made that's on your heart to make for God this year, make it. Go ahead with it. God will make a way. At first, you will need to do the work, but when you do the work, God will meet you in the process of it. Just start something. Jump. If you don't jump, you won't know what God has in mind for you. We'll just be there hesitating, and Satan will be happy. Don't let's glorify Satan this year. Let's glorify God. We'll end this sermon, with the song we started with. Sing this song so that that Bible passage will be there in your heart. By the end of today's service, we've known one Bible passage. Proverbs 3, 5-6. You've memorized it. Anytime you want to think of it, just sing this song. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lay not your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path. One more time. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lay not your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path. To our friends, to the visitors that have been coming, or you are coming for the first time. Last week, Mark took us through a question. Are you in faith? And he x-rayed it. What it takes to be in faith. The requirements of being in faith. It is not our decision. If you want to join a club, you are not the one that will dictate the terms of joining the club. It's the club that will tell you these are our requirements. If you are coming to Canada, you're not the one that will tell the Canadian government how you want to come. You abide by the rules you are given. We've heard the rules. Let's give our life to Christ. Don't follow the boss. Get into the boss. The boss is going. The boss of salvation is going. Get into the boss. I'm too young to seek God. Too independent to seek God. Too happy to seek God. Too busy to seek God. Too tired to seek God. It all ends up in too late to seek God. It may not be too late for us to seek God. The moment is now. In Isaiah 55 verse 6, it says, seek the Lord while he may be found. Call upon him while he is near. As it is said, today, if you hear his voice, do not harden your heart in rebellion. Satan is telling us, it's telling you, you do it tomorrow. Why not next week? There are so many Sundays in the year. But why not today? What's changing next week that you don't have today? Next week is not ascertained. This week is ascertained. Why take the risk? By the time you step out of this building, you are not going to remember everything you've heard. And it keeps watering down. Challenges of life will come. You start facing snow and you are thinking of how to get home in a hurry. Things will change. You are warm and comfortable now. Give your life to Christ. That's when you can enjoy the full blessings. Everything we are talking about, trusting God and how we direct our path, they are in the boss, not outside the boss. As the song leader will come up and give us a song, if you want to take that decision, call on anybody. Call on me. Don't let me say call on anybody. Anybody is difficult. Call on me. Call on the leaders. Call on anybody you see that's leading, and we'll lead you. When it comes to baptism, if it's 1 a.m., we'll see someone to do it. And if you read the book of Acts, so many places where it's referenced in Acts chapter 9, when Saul heard the gospel, immediately he went into the water for baptism. Acts chapter 8, the Ethiopian eunuch, he heard the word. On a journey, he told Philip, stop the chariot, let me be baptized. Acts chapter 2, 3,000 people heard the word in one night. Think of the logistics of baptizing 3,000 people. They could have scheduled it that since these people are a lot, it will take weeks. But they did it that night, 3,000 people. For 3,000 people to be baptized in one night, there must be a sense of urgency. In Acts chapter 16, the Philippian jailer, he heard it. They said, in the middle of the night, him and his household were baptized. They looked for water in the middle of the night. Acts chapter 19, they heard the word and they were baptized immediately. Why tarry? Why wait? As the song leader comes up, if you make up your mind to take that, we are willing. This is water, and we'll baptize you. May the Lord bless us, and may we have a prosperous year in which we will trust the Lord, and he shall direct our path in Jesus' name. Amen.